What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at the tier list for the Max 89 World Cup heroes. It has been kind of put in the codes that we will be getting a Max 89 hero pack, which I can imagine will be an SBC either probably today or I'd say Monday. Can't see it being Sunday, but who knows? I think it's got Monday written all over it. But I thought, you know what? Let's get ahead of the time and see what's the best players that you could get. It still gives you quite a lot of variety in terms of the heroes, and I believe there is only 5 heroes that you can't get. Forlan, Voler, Papin, Lucio, or Cola. To be honest, Lucio obviously is a big one that you've missed out on. Voler's not nice. I think Forlan's nice. Papin's okay, but he's coming in at 100k, so I would say he's kind of one that's happy to be missed. I'd rather go for one of the big ones, obviously, and the weight's going to be probably on the lower side. But we still have two massive ones in Marquinhos and our man Yaya Toure. Probably the one that everybody would want. He's still coming in at a whopping 2.05 mil, and Marquinhos is coming in at, because I know he's been out a bit, 1.5 mil. The only other one that's coming in of the value of $1 million plus, I believe, is, if I can find him, this man right here. So personally, we have done a review on Yaya and also Okocha. If you want to check them out, we are going to be trying to get all of them done before this pack comes out. Hopefully it does Monday, so we have some time to get them done. But if it does come out today, then we will try and get them done ASAP after it. But in terms of Marquinhos and Yaya, both incredible players. All of them are just next level in terms of their midfield role. Okocha, for me, I thought was good. He's definitely got the ability, but I just didn't think he was quite a million coin value. I think that is going to be a little bit steep personally for him, but he is still a good player and definitely would 100% take him into the team. And then we move on to some of the lower tier ones that personally just didn't really do it for me. Campos is one of them. Personally, again, he's just not quite there for me. In price terms, he's coming in at, let's go to the bottom because I know he's there. He's coming in at 27.5k. So I think with him, I most definitely wouldn't want him at all. Crouch being the absolute lowest you can get at 13.5k. That's going to be a massive L, unfortunately, if you do manage to get Crouch. That is just, unfortunately, how it is. In terms of the next one, I do think he's got a bit more use, mainly because he has got links to, obviously, any sort of American player, and obviously in the MLS, is Dempsey. So if I just put him there for the second, he's coming in at a whopping 26,000 coins. Personally, I do think he's definitely better than that. Again, the 85's coming in at 54 now, but I believe that is because that is the minimum price. So unfortunately, if you did buy one of him, you're probably not going to sell him now. This card does have a left wing cam and striker variations you can go with. He is a 4-star, so I think in an MLS team, I don't think you could really argue with him. I do think he's definitely got more value compared to Campos and Crouch. Crouch is nostalgic, if anything. Campos, unfortunately, for a keeper, there is people that say he is better than personally where I've been ranking him, but I just don't see it. We've used him a couple of times, and he's not been worth it in my eyes. And then we move on to the other American. We have a Donovan, who actually is coming in at a little bit more of a price, still coming in at a whopping 300,000 coins. Yes, he did only come out yesterday, so there is plenty of time to drop. But again, a 4-star can be right mid, cam, centre forward, and striker. Also, these two as well will give you the link with Higuain, who is a very, very good card in the MLS. And it starts that nice little kind of triangle that you can get. You could obviously put one in cam, the other two in striker. I'd probably say Dempsey and Cam, Donovan, and obviously Higuain as striker, and I think you've got yourself a nice pairing. He is explosive with some very good stats throughout. I think shooting, pace looking good, passing's okay, nothing crazy, dribbling solid. So for me, he's definitely got to come up into this AS tier as a lower end AS, but definitely one that wants to be looked at. Capdevia up next. Honestly, what a left back this guy is. He is coming in at a whopping 278. He can be lengthy if that is still what you're going for. Obviously, the big thing with these tier lists now, if you're watching any previous, it was very heavily around lengthy. And as we've seen with patches, lengthy is not necessarily downgraded, but explosive and controlled has been fixed, has been upgraded. So we do have now some players who definitely still work with lengthy. Centre backs definitely are better with it. I do find explosive on my defenders don't quite hit the same, so I do like the controlled mana if possible, which what it does is it doesn't necessarily mean the card is completely useless. It just means the chemistry style you use is different, and maybe the certain run type is not preferred. So for instance, with Captivia, we know that he can be lengthy, same with Furland and Theo, so we would be looking at an Anchor, Architect or Marksman. I do think Anchor is definitely still a way to go with him, does turn him into a 90 rated left back with 94 pace, 92 defending and 87 physical, so for me that still comes in as a top left back. I think for me, he probably is one of the better ones. I think now Roberto Carlos is definitely going to be more in the mix as well, just purely for the fact that lengthy is not absolutely everything. And then we have Carvalho, so another centre-back in this kind of game. Personally, I didn't really like his normal Heroes version. This guy has had a little bit of an upgrade, and he is coming in, if I can find him, at a whopping, where is he? Portuguese, there he is. He's coming in at 218. For me, with these cards, they're nice in the fact that they do have that 3-star chem already, but 218k in the Prem, that is where his position is now. I personally would just go and get Virgil. Virgil is 10 times the centre-back he's going to be. Yes, you can go lengthy with the Architect or just go Shadow with the Controlled. Give you 88 pace, 98 defending. If you wanted to go for an Anchor instead, 84 pace, 97 defending and 88 physical. I think for me at this point of the game, he has got to be in that Shadow realm and he's going to stick in that B for right now. Smolarek, if you've not watched the review at the end of this, go and have a look at this one because this card is phenomenal. He is going straight into the S. He is extinct at the moment, I think at 480 still, and he is absolutely stunning up front. He gets the ball, his agility is brilliant, pace is fantastic, shooting's great. He is just an all-round fantastic striker that you can get in the up front, and most definitely would love this card in obviously the World Cup Heroes. The only one we're not really trying to get is our man Brolin, because Brolin we've already got twice now. We've got his normal hero, and then we got our World Cup Hero pack with Brolin in. Even though I will absolutely take it, he is 680,000 coins. He is a very good card. I just don't want him dupe again. But in terms of this card, a 4-star, 3-star, explosive, pretty much on everything, controlled with the Architect. You can whack any sort of chem style, and you've got yourself a top end striker again. With the engine, you get the agility balance kind of boosted. We've already got the 91 finishing. So again, he's coming in at that top level at the AS. And I think that is the kind of general consensus with these cards, because naturally they are all relatively good in their own right. We have got a couple that unfortunately don't quite hit it, and I think El Jabba is another one. We did a review on him yesterday and he just did not get off the mark. I thought maybe the stat increase, the 90 pace, the 87 shooting might have just pushed him onto that edge to be at least a bit decent, but unfortunately for me, even coming in at 60, 70k, he's just not going to hit the value for me. And then onto the counterpart for the Saudi Arabian World Cup Heroes is Saeed El-Warin, I think is how you pronounce his name. This card is, again, if you're not going to be able to get one of the top guys, this guy is the next best thing. He is absolutely stunning. Coming in at 660k, he's obviously a very, very top-end sort of hero. He's coming in with a 4-star, 99 pace, great dribbling, shooting can be increased as well as not needing the lengthy anymore. This card just gets better and better. We're going to be looking at potentially the Deadeye for him, just because it rounds up his shooting and passing at the same time. So we end up with 99 pace, 94 shooting, 90 passing, and 92 dribbling. The card is absolutely cracked. He came in, I think when I was reviewing him, at about 450. He then went up and down and up and down. He was 700k yesterday, but he's still chilling in that 660 category, and he is 100% in the top tier. An interesting one, Joe Cole. I actually really like this card pretty much most times. We'll just pop him there for the second. He is a very, very quick winger. Always liked his hero from last year, and obviously the one this year was very, very nice in that kind of final third. We have got left mid, right mid, cam, and left wing that you can go for him. So he can't actually be right wing, which is very strange. Normally they keep their position from previous. But in terms of the stats, we're looking pretty good. Good pace, great dribbling, shooting's not bad, passing's decent. Chemstar people are saying is the catalyst, which I can see. I think the passing's nice, but I'd prefer to go for a Hunter if you are trying to max out as much as possible. He is definitely more of a left wing, right wing striker. Or you could potentially go in that cam role depending on what formation you play. Personally, I like him on the wing. He's good at cutting in. He's got a right foot, so if you want to go on the left, you obviously cut with the right, or obviously the other way around and cross with the right on that right-hand side. And I think definitely for me, for what, 370s coming in at, he's got to be in that AS. Tim Cahill is a new one that came into the game yesterday, and obviously an 88 striker, already dropped down to 70,000 coins. Personally, again, I think more of a nostalgic card than anything. I definitely thought the card would have been better. I do admit that Robbie Keane was always the fan favourite over Cahill in terms of heroes from the Prem, and he does have the MLS variety in this version. So again, a nice link to Dempsey, Donovan, and also himself with Higuain as well. You've got yourselves a lot of kind of top-end forwards in terms of MLS with these. And again, not at a bad price, to be honest. Dempsey's coming in at 20. You could get 100k for both of them. Yes, Donovan's coming in at a little bit more, but you could go for the normal hero version as it's really not that big of an upgrade. I think for Cahill, a 3-star, 4-star, good pace, really good shooting. Dribbling wise, he's got some decent areas, and passing could do a bit of a work, but if you're whacking a Hunter on him, realistically you are getting, if I can find the Hunter, 95 pace, 93 shooting. Again, it's not a terrible card, just not quite on that lower variety. I'm going to stick in the A for him. On to a French cam this time with our man Govu, who looks really, really nice. He's got a 712 price tag on him. His 86 was just a striker. This version can go cam, centre forward, striker, and right mid. Loving all of these alternative positions. The stats are looking pretty good throughout with him, and in general, you can get a decent amount from him. The Chemstar people are looking at is that engine, just to give you that bit more of agility balance. We've got relatively good shooting, so if you are looking at maybe more of a cam role, which I think he might be just slightly wasted on, I feel like he's definitely more on that striker version rather than anything. You would get 88 agility, 91 balance with already 89 finishing. I think it's definitely worth the upgrade, but you could argue the agility balance gives him that little bit of an edge, because a Hunter I think would be wasted if I can find that. 98 pace, 96 shooting. Again, depends on what you want him for. The 98 pace would be nice, and he's definitely coming in into the top S category. Park Ji-sung, 87 rated. He's just got a 1 upgrade from his left mid version. Can be cam, right mid, left wing. And in general, some good stats from him. Not necessarily the biggest upgrade in the world. I'd have maybe liked to have seen an 88 or an 89 if possible. But again, I can understand where he's coming from. A 3-star, 4-star that definitely could have done with a bit more of an upgrade as well. I think he's an all-round nice statted card. Everything's above 80, so you can argue that you could go almost box to box with him, because you whack the shadow on, you get the 94 pace, 87 defending, a little bit of physical already, passing's relatively good on the short game, and the dribbling's quite nice already as well. So I think for me, a box to box would suit him down to the ground. I think if you're going for the attacking sort of side, you've kind of got to go for that Hunter, which leaves over too much. I don't think he's necessarily that much of a forward player, even though maybe you could go right mid with him instead. I think centre mid would do him absolutely justice, and he's got to go in that AS. He's coming in at 279. A previous icon in the game is now back once more with another good card. 88 Nakata. Love the dynamic. Very, very sinister. Absolutely brilliant. Love the coat. 205k on him. He has gone from an 87 to an 88. Very much like his icons, to be honest, which it would have been nice to get an 89 from him just for old time's sake. But again, a nice cam. Very agile. Very good on the ball. I think you would be definitely looking for an engine, I can imagine, or a Hunter at the very minimum. Engine would give you that little bit more of a cam roll from him, and Hunter would give him a bit more in front of goal. He's got 85, 87 agility balance, which again is not necessarily the highest. He is a 4-star, 4-star. He is Serie A as well, so a good link there. But in general, I think more of a cam roll would suit him absolutely perfectly. We've got a good amount of passing on him already, so the engine just amplifies that little bit more, giving him 91 passing, 91 pace, and 92 dribbling. Again, a nice card. don't quite think AS, but definitely in that top category of these heroes. We're going to get the 2 CDMs finished now. So we've got Mascherano, and then we also have Marquez, who was obviously previous as centre-back, and same with Mascherano as well. So both of them have moved up the field. If I can find... where is he? I'm looking for Marquez. There he is. So both of them are, or in fact, Mascherano is an actual Prem player, and Marquez is La Liga. So we've got 2 different ones there, both coming in at the same sort of price. Mascherano at 140, Marquez at 190. Again, both of them can be centre-backs in their versions also. Marquez is lengthy already, so he would be more tailored towards having that lengthy attribute for a centre-back, and I would say that would be the better version for him, standing at 6 foot, 3-star. Going with that shadow gives him 86 pace and 97 defending. I think personally as a centre back, you're definitely looking at a better card compared to that CDM. If you're playing him at a centre-back, I think he's definitely got to be at least in that A. With Mascherano, I personally preferred him in the CDM from his normal hero card, and he's gone up just a +1, so we know very, very similar. 3-star, 4-star. You can make him lengthy if you really wanted to, but you can have that variety now with the chem styles. You could go with the Shadow or Anchor and add a very, very top-end card. 86 pace, 96 defending. I think these two together would be really, really nice in a centre-back and CDM partnership. Next up is Freddie Lundberg, the left mid 88. Love the red hair. Unfortunately, doesn't have it in game, or at least when I used it, he didn't. That would have been a really nice feature to add to him personally. But I think, again, a good cheaper card this time round. 84,500 coins. Just a +2 from his left mid in a previous version, and can be a left mid, right mid, or left wing. I personally was surprised by him. I thought he was going to be pretty average. I didn't think he was going to be able to do too much. He is controlled off the base of it. You're going to go for the engine or hunter again with him. Very, very similar sort of chem styles for a lot of these. We'll give him a bit more pace, get him a little bit more passing, as well as the dribbling, because he already has the 90 finishing, which I think for me is perfectly fine. So the hunter would be a little bit wasted. It would take him to 91 shooting with only 98 finishing. I think for me, I would much rather get that agility balance, keep the finishing at that level, and just get a bit more around him. And I think if you do that, he's going in for the A in terms of price efficiency. We have Dirk Kuyt next as the 88 right mid in the Prem this time. He has been a double upgrade from his Eredivisie version in obviously the normal heroes. And again, a nice card, 312k. I don't think we've actually used this version of him yet. I think we have wanted to, but we've not quite got round to him. But personally, from what I've looked like, what I've seen in terms of other people use him, I know in the Discord some people have managed to get this card from their pre-order, and he's done them a little bit of a service. He's got good pace, great shooting, the dribbling's not bad, physicals are coming in at a good level, and he's got a bit of passing. So he is a very all-round sort of card. Can be right mid, centre mid, and cam. I think you could potentially argue a little bit more of a cam than right mid, but again, it depends on the chem style, which are coming in as an engine or a shadow. I think if you are looking box to box, I think his defending is just a little bit low. With a shadow, you only get the 79 defending. I do think you'd need a little bit more personally. If you was looking at the engine instead, 91 pace, 91 dribbling, and 89 passing, could be a perfect cam. A 4-star, 3-star, unfortunately, but definitely can do a good amount in that midfield. And I'm going to go with the A for him. And finally, Harry Kewell. What a cracking card this guy is. He was the first hero review that we did on the channel, and he was mesmerizing. The left wing was absolutely beautiful. That card is still coming in at 180 already. This card is coming in at 400, and most definitely sits in that top spot. A 4-star, 4-star, great pace, great shooting, passing, and dribbling. There is not much that this card can't do. If you whack a hawk or a sniper, I believe what they're saying. How many votes is that? 69 votes. Where hey, he has got the hawk, which will give you, if I can find it, where is the hawk? Why can't I find? Oh, there it is. Completely looking in the wrong section. 95 pace, 93 shooting, 75 physical. Again, the physical is just a byproduct. There's nothing really you can do there. Or if you was to go for the sniper, which is, again, not finding it, 90 dribbling, 92 shooting, 76 physical. I personally would go with the Hawk there. I think that's going to give you the more benefit, gives you a bit more on that finishing. Pace is nearly maxed out. He is just a cracking card. And that is the list. We've got the top rows. I personally would say I would still be very, very happy with this AS. I think most definitely, even to the A, to some extent, maybe not quite Cahill or Lundberg. Anybody with like 100 to 200k value plus, I probably would be more than happy with. If we go into the bottom tier, again, I just wouldn't be happy. Unfortunately, that is what it is. Some people have got to get him. Hopefully, it's not myself or anybody watching, but unfortunately, that is going to be the biggest weight possible. We all want this absolute premium top shelf. Yaya is definitely the kind of chase card. Everybody wants that. Then I'd take a Marquisio, Kocha. I'd take a Smolarek. Unfortunately, Brolin would be out the team, but a good super sub at the very minimum, if that is the case. And Sahid Al-Awarin he would just be a beautiful card. I'd probably take him over someone like Marquisio just with how good he actually is. So let me know down below what you think. Make sure you do like and subscribe on this. Check out the videos on the left hand side. And I'll see you all for the pack. Let's go and let me know what you got down below.